Jin Bubaigawara, a man so full of love for his fellow League members it felt more like a family due to his presence. Just having him around made everyone feel more at ease, someone you could easily fall for without hesitation. And, well, you had. Oh, good golly, had you fallen for this man. Just hearing his name would make your head perk up, your eyes alight, a small smile gracing your lips. The very name rolling off your tongue made your whole body tingle in a way you hadn't really experienced before. And for the love of all things villainous, his smile was the one thing in the world that would make your face flush a hot red color and your heart burst. You had been teased by Atsuhiro for this multiple times, calling you out, stating how your pupils had almost certainly taken on the shape of hearts. Anything he gave you suddenly became a prized possession. Anything as silly as a shirt he thought would look nice on you, or an old beat-up plush he grabbed because he thought of you when he saw it. You wanted nothing more than to be by his side through anything, through everything. You wanted to be a part of his forever. You thought, for certain, one day he'd see just how you look at him. One day he'd notice the small touches, bright smiles, and reassuring shoulder to lean on. Surely, he'd notice the way you got nervous when left alone with him. He'd had to notice the way you said his name different to everyone else's name. Right?
Traveler.
The hiss of Tomura Shigaraki's voice cut through your thoughts as you snapped out of your little trance and looked to the man, who stared at you from behind, farther. Giving a sheepish smile, you straightened up.
Sorry. I was coming up with plans.
Just not plans for the League. It was probably a pretty bad thing to be so in love with one of the League members. If anyone knew what it meant to be a villain, it was you. Alliances didn't last, ties were broken, promises were made to be snapped in half, and bonds were always seen as weak. Caring was not what a villain did. And yet, with the League, it didn't seem like that. With Jin, it didn't feel that way.
I need you to go get Twice. He's been missing for the past 3 days. I sent Toga yesterday, but she came back after an hour of searching,
Tomura stated, making you pay attention. Jin hadn't stopped by in the past 3 days? That wasn't like him.
Make sure you find him, and when you do, tell him that we're going to start soon.
Tomura then turned his attention to Spinner as he entered the warehouse, next with information. But you hardly paid attention to that as you gathered your things to leave. As you left, the events of the past few months ran through your mind, making you frown. Between the events with All for One being put away, losing their hideout, and then the loss of Magne, the last had hit them all so hard. Jin especially. Perhaps that's why he wasn't around lately. Was he okay? The thought stuck in your mind and made you frantic in your search to find the man. Checking his apartment, nothing but dead plants, empty cans and clothes strewn about greeted you when you came through the window. Yet no Jin. So you had taken to searching the places you knew he frequented. The liquor store manager hadn't seen him in a week, which was strange. The woman running the small restaurant he loved to eat at also hadn't seen him. Speaking to Giran had been a little more helpful though.
Bubaigawara?
The silver-haired male asked, eyebrow cocked up.
Yeah, he was here a few hours ago. Didn't look too good.
he stated, lighting up his cigarette as he spoke.
I couldn't really do much for him, so I told him to try and find someone who would be a little more helpful.
The man shrugged. You couldn't help but get mad.
Seriously? Giran, he needed your help.
You snapped at him.
You're supposed to be friends.
Never said I sent him away. Besides, would you rather me give him bad advice and he end up worse off?
His words made you recoil with a small frown.
Didn't think so,
he stated before you took your leave. Running out of places to go, you called Shigaraki just to make sure the man hadn't made his way there while you had been searching. No such luck.
Try calling him,
Shigaraki stated before hanging up. Damn it. Why hadn't you thought of that sooner? But if he was in a bad place, would he even answer? And why the hell did you have to do it? Tomura had his number too. Quickly dialing the number you had memorized like your own name, you silently bit your lip and hoped that he picked up.
The person you are trying to reach is unavailable at this time. Please check the number or try the call again.
Nothing. Frustrated, you shoved your phone into your pocket and started down the street.
Where are you, Jin?
Staring up at the sky, you suddenly had an idea. Giran had told him to go to someone who could be more helpful. He wouldn't be. At a full-on run, you took off, dashing through the streets until you reached your own apartment complex. Panting, you stared up towards your window, then swiftly headed in, taking the stairs as the elevator usually took forever to get you anywhere. Rummaging through your pockets for your keys, you slowed down just as you reached your door, jumbling and jamming the key into the lock before shoving it open. It was quiet, minus the radio you usually left on, as you hated how quiet it could be when you would come home. Tossing your keys into the small bowl beside the door, you looked around for any signs that the man may be around waiting on you.
Jin?
You called out before shutting the door and walking into the living room. Nothing. Kitchen. Nothing. A frown crossed your lips as you thought it over. Why in the hell would you even think that Jin would think you were more helpful than Giran anyway? Maybe you were just too hopeful. Sighing, you checked one last place. Your bedroom. Stepping inside, a frown etched onto your face. You spotted an outline of a person under your blankets, a black and white mask clutched in one hand that dangled off the side of the bed. Relief washed over you so fast you were sure you would start crying.
Oh, thank goodness.
You muttered as you slowly approached the sleeping body of the one man who held the key to your heart. Sleeping so softly, so soundly, in your bed. Was it weird that you looked forward to sleeping in the bed tonight, just to smell his scent around you? Probably. Gently sitting on the side of the bed, you looked down at the sleeping face of the blonde, his eyes closed, his mouth open slightly as he snored quietly. He was seriously so adorable. Even with the dried tear streaks down his face, or the way his hair was messier than usual. How long had he been here? Why didn't he realize you weren't home and go to the League to find you? He knew you hardly ever came home unless you had to be. While it confused you, you decided to gently place a hand on his cheek. He only flinched a little before gently relaxing into your hand. Sighing lightly, you stroked his cheek before slowly removing your hand and getting up to call Tomura to let him know you found twice, when you felt a hand clasp around your wrist. Jolting, you quickly looked down at Jin to find his grey-blue eyes half open as he stared up at you.
Stay,
was all he said before pulling at your wrist a bit. Without a word, you sat down again as Jin sat up, sitting beside you, pulling his mask halfway onto his head as he sleepily yawned.
Where were you?
He asked, groggily, making his voice even more butterfly-inducing to you.
Where am I usually?
You teased as he rested his head on your shoulder.
The warehouse.
He muttered, messing with the edge of his mask with a hand.
I know, but I couldn't go back yet, so I was just waiting,
he said, closing his eyes as he gripped at his head before quickly tugging the mask down in an effort to reduce the usual feeling of splitting apart. With one arm, you wrapped it around him and pulled him closer.
Is this about Big Sis?
You asked quietly, feeling the man tense under your grip. There was a long silence that answered your question. Resting your head on top of his, you rubbed his shoulders.
It's not your fault, Jin.
He pushed you away and held himself, making your heart shatter.
It is my fault though. I messed up. I didn't mean for... And compress his arm.
The words stuttered and shuddered with each new sentence he started.
If I hadn't brought that dumbass Yakuza.
He was crying. From the way his shoulders trembled, the hiccups from him, and the way he choked on words made it pretty obvious despite the mask to cover it. Frowning, you reached out and gently unlatched his fingers from digging themselves into his arms any further as you pulled him back to you.
Nobody blames you for that, Jin. You couldn't have known that would happen.
You tried to reason with him.
I know you would never do anything like that to hurt any of us.
You kept his head close to your chest, your own eyes closed as you fought off your own downpour of tears.
Of course, we're all hurt that we lost Magne. We're all still recovering, but... Jin...
You pulled him away and lifted his chin to look at you.
You're taking this the hardest. Look at you. Why didn't you come to me sooner? I don't want you to feel this way. No one in the league wants it either. Talk to us. We're not going to shame you.
You smiled lightly.
You're one of us. I'm sure if Toga knew you were here sobbing your eyes out, she'd be here too.
You teased him, making him choke a watery laugh.
Atsuhiro got a cool robotic arm now too. That's pretty damn cool. I bet he feels pretty damn high and mighty over it.
You said, hoping to get Jin to smile, even if you couldn't see it behind his mask.
And Shigaraki is gonna tear that idiot apart when he gets the chance. It'll be great, and we get to help with that.
He blinked as he pulled away from you. He was silent for a moment as he composed himself, then looked at you.
Right. I have to be there to avenge Big Sis.
He straightened up a bit and clenched his fists.
I can't just let her memory die either. It's what she'd want.
With that, he reached under one of your pillows and retrieved a pair of sunglasses. He held them for a moment in his hand, staring down at them.
I'm going to do my best to keep the rest of you safe. I'll protect every last one of you from the same fate with my last breath if I have to. That's how I'll be forgiven. She'll see I tried, and forgive me.
He stated before removing his mask a bit. This was the longest you'd seen him go without his other sides trying to partake in the conversation. Having the mask just up to the bridge of his nose, he gave you a smile, and you couldn't help but smile back.
But for now,
he set the sunglasses on your bedside table and grabbed your arm, pulling you forward. You gasped slightly before blinking at him as he laid down with you, his arms secured around you.
I think I'll still need some time to recover.
He sighed, lightly. Your heart was basically a drum being abused at the moment as you felt the way his arm felt around you. His own heartbeat a steady rhythm against your hands as you kept a small barrier between the two of you. How you wanted to move them, to feel every part of him against you. But...
Oh, come on. I don't bite.
He said, making you turn a slight bit redder than you already were. Shifting slightly, you removed your hands and draped an arm over him as he pressed closer to you.
You're seriously warm, you know.
He stated before peeling his mask up over his right eye to look down at you.
Are you okay?
Swallowing thickly, you nodded stiffly. No, you were not. But now wasn't the time to go and confess your feelings.
Hey.
He said, making you look at him again.
Thanks.
He spoke softly, his smile gone for the moment.
You're, always there for me. I guess that's why I came here. You always seem to make things feel right.
Oh God, was your heartbeat loud enough to sound like it was in stereo?
It's no problem, really. I love being able to help you.
You stammered out quickly.
It's my pleasure just to be around you.
The re-emergence of his smile helped calm you.
I think the same thing,
he said before staring at you for a little too long, making you a nice cherry bomb red by now. Eventually he noticed.
You know, Big Sis was trying to help me for so long, but I just couldn't get it right. She would laugh at me every time I tried anything I came up with on her.
He stated. You gave him a confused look in return.
She told me to just go for it, but I just never could, so, maybe I should take her advice. I think she'd be proud of me.
He took a deep breath as you held yours. And,
I love you!
You said out loud, quickly, making him stop in his tracks as you processed what you said and felt ice run through your blood. Your eyes were wide as you stared at him, his own eyes blinking back at you. Silence seemed to consume the two of you for way too long. Scrambling, you sat up, your voice higher as you spoke.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, Jin. I was just caught up in the moment, and I thought you were going to say, oh fuck. Oh fuck.
You buried your face in your hands, berating yourself internally. As you panicked, he sat up to sit beside you again, resting his chin on your shoulder as he waited on you to stop freaking out. When you finally quieted down, he smiled.
I love you too,
he said softly, raking his fingers through your hair. Slowly looking at him, you felt your heart ready to explode.
I don't think you understand, Jin. I mean love as in love,
You stated, hoping this wasn't some misunderstanding.
When I say I love you, I mean it. I want to be with you. I want to be the reason you're excited to come back home. I want to be the one thing you feel you have no matter what happens. You're my everything, and I just want you to know that. I'm so fucking in love with you. It hurts. I want to be the place where you belong.
You confessed, watching him, watching for a reaction. He simply gave you a wide-eyed expression. Your heart stopped in place. Time felt slow. Then his arms wrapped around you again, lightly, his face burying in the crook of your neck. Was he crying again?
Jin?
You said, worried as you pulled away, wiping at his eyes.
I...
He tried, before he broke his record of staying together as his other side took over.
Oh, you're so fucking hot. You have no idea how much I want to...
He gripped at his head and whimpered slightly, making you quickly hold him.
I want to keep you safe too. Why would anyone want to...
Gritting his teeth, he hissed.
You should feel lucky I want you so bad.
He covered his mouth and gave you a wide-eyed, scared look. A small laugh escaped you as you pressed your forehead to his.
Oh, trust me. I feel very lucky.
And before you could think about it twice, you pressed your lips to his, feeling him tense before relaxing into it. Pulling away, you looked at him and grinned.
You have any idea how long I wanted to do that?
You asked.
Probably as long as I've been thinking of you during long nights by myself.
He huffed before pushing his mask fully down, only to pull another laugh from you.
That's so?
You teased before placing a hand to his chest, earning a stuttered reaction from the poor guy. He held on to the bottom of his mask like a lifeline. Smiling slyly, you tilted your head.
Just call me up next time, lover boy,
you said before pushing him back against the bed and laying in his arms.
But for now, I think you need some more rest. You have the darkest circles under your eyes.
You closed your own. Shigaraki could wait. Right now, you both needed to rest. Both of you needed this. To just lay in each other's embrace, feeling that one thing you both craved. Love. A place to belong. Someone you could trust and be trusted by. Companionship. Someone to be there. Could either of you ask for a better life? Being here, being with him, with the League. You were both happy. And you were both as happy as you could be. This truly was a happy life.